So what I'll show you here is that you can see I pretty much got it all cut out. A couple of parts that I probably didn't do as well as I should have. So I was using scissors for most of it. Okay, and so of course scissors will work. But there are certain areas that, let's see, here's all my leftover pieces, and there's some like here where it has the curl, and it has the curl here, and of course the inside piece. Or honestly, I'm better off using the X-Acto blade. Okay, and so these things can be a little bit scary. Okay, just because they are really sharp. Mine might be a little bit beat up, so I probably used this a few times, so mine may not be as sharp as yours, like right out of the container, out of the box. So, you know, you do want to be careful with it. If the blade is ever loose and it's kind of doing this, what happens is, of course, these are replaceable. Okay, so what you do is just kind of pop that back in, and then you're gonna hold the handle with one hand and then the little part with the texture with the other, and then you just turn the blade, and I turn the handle. So I'm actually rotating it this way. Okay, there we go, blade's on nice and sturdy. Okay. And then if you notice what I'm doing too, this is the back of the sketch pad that I had earlier. So it's basically a, you know, heavier cardboard. And so I'm gonna put that down so I don't carve up my table. Okay, I have my drawing table under here. So I don't wanna do that, especially if you're working on your kitchen table or something. You really don't wanna put a bunch of scratches and cuts into it. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm, again, cutting on top of that. And I'm just going real careful, and so you don't need to do a ton of effort to get through there, especially when the blade's pretty sharp. And so you can kind of test it and see I didn't go all the way through here, so I just need to go a little further and maybe a little more. I'll have to come in from this angle, I think. And it's almost releasing for some reason. It's just hanging on by like a little thread. Oh, it's up here too. That's what it is. I didn't go through there very well. And that should be it. And it's probably small enough that, yeah, I could just pull on it. Okay. When you're cutting, you know, don't ever do something like this. Put this under your hand and cut. That's not good. Again, I'm putting it on a solid surface, something that's steady, something that it's not going to move on me. And you don't want to cut like this with your finger in the way. You know, it's, you just got to be careful. Okay, and so I'm pushing down with a, you know, good amount of pressure, but I'm not pushing so hard that I'm trying to go through the entire desk. Okay, you want to give some pressure, but if your blade is pretty sharp, you got to notice that it goes through pretty quickly. Okay, so if I put too much pressure, then there's a good chance of me bending the blade or having this thing slip out of my hand, which you don't want to have happen. Okay, yeah, I got a little more here. Okay, and if you notice what I'm doing, it's I'm actually kind of, you know, I'm cutting sort of toward me, but I'm, you know, I'm trying to cut more with my palm down, and you know, it's kind of like a backhand or forehand if you play or forehand and backhand if you play tennis. So there's one way that your hand moves a little better, and it's kind of like writing. Okay, if you're drawing a line or a curve, I always find it easier to draw the curve this way than to try to draw it out. And so I find the same thing with the blade. That makes it easier to maneuver it. So again, I'm just gonna go slow, follow the line, and again, I'm going the direction that feels more comfortable to me. So if it feels more comfortable to kind of curve out, you can do that. I just find that, you know, kind of going towards me is easier. And again, that's why I'm also telling you to go really slow so you don't end up cutting yourself. Some people will tell you that learning how to use an X-Acto blade and having that first cut is a rite of passage. I don't really believe that. I think you'd be better off not getting cut at all if you could ever avoid it. So at the end, I want to put the lid back on and then put it somewhere out of the way that I'll know where it is, and I won't you know, end up accidentally cutting myself later. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. And then of course this thing. And we don't really need this on the desk anymore. Okay. So again, I have 2 sheets of paper. Okay, so I'm going to need one of them. And then that's where this one's going to go. And so again, if they're all exactly the same size, there we go, just got to angle it. There we go. So see, it should fit perfectly on there. Okay, and so with the letter at this point, all you got to do is glue it down, and then this is done. And so where I have that you submit the finished letter, that's what you do, just like I did right here. Okay. On the supply list, it had for you to get rubber cement. If you really want to use glue sticks, you can. I like rubber cement more, just because you can clean it up a little easier. And I'll do another little demo video here, showing you a little bit later, showing you how to clean up the rubber cement with a rubber cement pickup. But that little square that came with your kit, it's kind of rubbery. It essentially is an eraser for rubber cement. So you glue this down, and then some of the rubber cement oozes out. You can actually use that little thing, and it'll actually pick it up. It's kind of fun to play with. It's and you can do the same thing with your hands, but the rubber cement pickup works a lot better. Okay. Another tip I have for you, if you're going to use rubber cement, and again, I recommend rubber cement because it tends to last a little longer and it's easier to clean up. But what you can do is, get the brush from the rubber cement, put a little bit on here. You want like a thin coat, okay? And then if you can kind of calculate where you're going to glue it on, I'd put a little bit, even just a couple little spots of it on the paper where it's going to go, okay? Put a little bit on the paper where it's supposed to go, put a little bit on the back of the shape, and then you sort of let them sit there for a minute or two. And so that way it dries a little bit, and what'll happen then is the rubber cement will be kind of tacky. It'll feel like a sticker, like when you peel a sticker off of something and it feels kind of tacky. Your finger kind of sticks to it, but it's not, again, it's not dry. You do that so that way when you go to actually attach it, it'll tend to stick better. Okay, and so then that's what you do. Just line it back up where it goes, and then just, pat it down, make sure you get it aligned and don't move it like I did there. And you'll notice that, again, if you have a little bit on the paper, the surface that you're gluing on and the actual piece that you cut out, they'll stick together really well. And to be honest, even if you place it sort of wrong, you can lift it up and reposition it. Again, kind of like a vinyl sticker. Okay, so again, a little bit of rubber cement on the back, a little bit, just even a couple spots where it's going to go on the page. Let them dry a little bit separately. A minute or two will work, and then again, you'll notice they stick together and bond really well. And so remember, so again, obviously this is going to stay here. I'm sorry, I don't have the rubber cement with me right now. I'll have to go get some. I have some on campus. I'm doing this from home. But letter goes on one, and then you have a second sheet, and you're going to do something with these, which will be in the next demo. So remember, don't throw away these leftover pieces. Okay, you want to keep these because you are going to use them on the next one. Okay, and again, you'll see there's going to be some different steps that you have to do, and you'll end up rearranging these several times and taking pictures of it each time. But you can see, I'll kind of hold this up better on the camera, that there's the leftover pieces, and so I sort of have a weight R, and one of the pieces is missing here somewhere. It might have fallen on the floor on me. It's still here. I still have it, but actually that should be this one right there. One of them's here. It might have fallen. I'll find it, and then I'll use it for the next demo. Okay.